Today I'm out in the beautiful English countryside in Kent, and I've travelled clear across 2 continents to get here. Why would I make the effort to do this? Well, I believe that the UK has one of the best airgun hunting cultures in the world, and I want to experience a typical UK airgun hunt firsthand. I've met up with Cai at Bryn, a friend of mine that is all too familiar with airguns and the quarry that they're used to hunt over here. Cai and I share a passion for good quality rifles, and today we've got both the Air Arms S510 carbine and the Air Arms S410 TDR. I think I'll use the S510 carbine today since I used the TDR yesterday.
Yep.
Just for a change.
And I'll use that one.
Cool. A day earlier, Cai and I had headed out to film an episode for Field Sports Britain, the final result being a squirrel in the bag for each of us. Today, the aim is to replicate the results of the previous day's hunting, and this time Cai has something extra up his sleeve to make things a little bit more interesting.
So what we'll do, whatever we get today, which could be a mixture of things, you got the grey squirrel, the rabbit, pigeon. It's a possibility that we can get anything. I've got a pot with me, so we're gonna throw what we can in a pot, some vegetables, and that's gonna be our dinner this evening.
Right. So it looks like it's going to be quite an opportunistic style of hunting today. We're not really going after anything specific, like just rabbits or just wood pigeons or just squirrels. We're going to be walking through the woods, seeing what we come across, and at the end of the day, if we've got enough, we're going to just throw it in a pot and eat it. I'm definitely one for taking whatever you shoot and actually eating it and actually putting it to use instead of just letting it waste away. I don't agree with that. I like to use whatever I shoot. Mm-hmm. So it's great that I have a chef that knows what he's doing here today, that can actually cook something up that tastes good, because a lot of the time I'll shoot something and I'll cook it and it tastes really terrible. So I'm glad I've Cai here today with me.
Well, we've got some base ingredients. So I've got onions, garlic, leeks, some traditional root vegetables, carrots, and we've got potatoes as well. So we've got the base ingredients. We just now need the meat, Matt. So let's
Fantastic.
get this.
Let's do it.
Let's get the rest of the stuff back in the car, take our rifles and go for a ramble, shall we?
Let's do it. Cai informs me that there are plenty of squirrels lurking in these woods, so as we walk along we keep our eyes peeled for movement. It soon becomes clear, however, that things might be a little bit more challenging than they were on the previous day. Thought I saw a squirrel up there, but it's a very windy day, so there's a lot of leaves falling all the time, a lot of branches moving, and it's very difficult to tell whether it's a squirrel in the tree or whether it's just the wind. So we really got to stay vigilant and keep our eyes peeled. So it's a lot more challenging than on a day where it might be completely still, where if there's any movement then you know it's a squirrel, but now it's just these leaves falling everywhere, so just got to stay sharp. Despite the challenging conditions, it's not long before we spot some movement in the trees, and I take the shot quickly.
You get it?
I hit him. See? I hit him. I think he's down.
Should we have a look?
Let's go take a look. Oh, here he is. Okay. And he's dead. Fantastic.
Nice shot, mate.
Nice. And it's a male. Definitely a male.
That's a male. Some big cojones. I mean.
Awesome. Well, this one, Cai actually spotted it about 30 meters away. He was just running up this tree, and then I could see that Cai kind of lost him and couldn't see him anymore, but I had a very good view of him, so I actually just rested the gun on Kai's shoulder, and at the time when I took the shot I couldn't see its head properly, and but I kind of guessed where its head was, and I pulled the trigger, heard a solid thump as the pellet hit it, and he dropped straight down. So I'm very, very happy. This is my second squirrel now, after 3 days in the UK.
So it's 2-1 to South Africa.
Yeah, so Kai's going to have to catch up. 2-1 to South Africa.
Some good food for the pot as well, so
definitely
we'll use that one later on.
Awesome.
Maybe not the testicles, unless you want to try them.
No, thank you. That's alright. Okay, let's keep going. Now this is an animal that I haven't hunted before on this channel, so let's take a minute or so to learn a little bit more about the species. Right, for those of you who don't know, perhaps if you're watching from South Africa or in the States or somewhere other than the UK, these are the grey squirrels, and they're actually quite problematic here in the UK. So Kai's going to tell us a little bit more about the problems that they cause here.
Yeah, well, the grey squirrel is not native to the UK. They basically come well over 100 years ago, and ever since their arrival, they kill trees. They damage local vegetation. The local birds, the little birds, kick out the eggs, eat the eggs. They've driven out our red squirrels, which is a big problem. So our red squirrels now, we don't have many in the UK. We've got some up north in Cumbria, Scotland, some in Wales, but the rest of the UK literally has been overpowered by the North American grey squirrel. So to get rid of these off our land and some of the countryside around here is a good thing. There's far too many. So by doing pest control and especially using the air rifles, they're so silent, so you can creep through the woods. If you know where they are, where they're feeding, you can even feed them in. It's a great way to try and reduce the numbers. It's like a woodland like this. It's probably about a couple of 100 acres. This woodland here, but I know that there's probably about over 300 squirrels in this woodland.
Sure.
If not more. So
and I'll tell you what, it's great hunting as well. It's a lot of fun. Just like the excitement of looking for movement, seeing if you can spot something, and then taking a shot. And I'll tell you what, even though this is a 12 foot-pound air rifle, a lot of you Americans and South Africans or other parts of the world will think it's quite challenging to shoot squirrels with only a sub 12 foot-pound air rifle. I'll tell you what, these things do an excellent job, especially these Air Arms guns with the 10-shot magazine. You don't have to worry about, it's not like some of the break barrel guns where you've got to load up, put a pellet in. It's extremely quick. These guns are pointable, they're light, they're really quiet, and they do an absolutely fantastic job. I mean, the squirrel just dropped right on the spot, and this isn't a tiny animal either. For an air rifle, it's, as far as air rifle quarry go, it's fairly big. So
the thing as well, these grey squirrels are notoriously tough. Really thick skins. If you try and skin one of these, it's very, very difficult. So they've got real thick skin and real muscular and tough animals. They climb in trees all the time. So the penetration that the air rifles, they're perfect for the job within range. Especially the S510 that you had, using it on my shoulder, it's not too heavy, but it's not light either. So it's good to it's a good gun to rest. And I've got the S410 here, which is ideal for holding it, for it's extremely light. So if you're holding it against your shoulder, you can get some really, really steady shots. So we kind of got the best of both worlds here as well, haven't we?
Definitely. This is probably a more traditional looking gun, the S510 carbine. I actually have as all of you will know, I've got the S510 Extra at home, which is basically the high power version of this. So this is actually the first time I'm shooting with the S510 carbine, but it feels exactly the same as the S510 Extra. I've got the same hunter green stock at home, which is a really nice stock. And then obviously the TDR is a less traditional looking gun, but I tell you what, TDR is probably my favorite gun for close quarters hunting like this. It's just so light and it's so pointable. So I almost wish I was using that gun today. That's probably my preferable gun, but I'm using the S510 carbine today because I haven't shot with it before and I wanted to experience what it was like to shoot with it. But so far, one down. Let's see what else we can do.
And that's your first shot, so one shot, one kill. So it's pretty good.
It's doing the job. Perfect.
We keep on walking and walking, scanning the trees for movement as we go along. There's a lot of ground to cover here, but we want to be smart about the way we hunt. And after about half an hour of not seeing anything, we decide to try a different approach.
Okay, what we've decided to do now is that we've noticed that the squirrels seem to be coming towards the pheasant feeders. They've got pheasant feeders out here because they breed pheasants for the hunting season, so that obviously they can shoot them. But the squirrels seem to be going towards the pheasant feeders and eating from them. So what we decided to do is to position ourselves across the road here from the pheasant feeders and just wait for the squirrels to come to us instead of us trying to go to them. Hopefully we'll be successful with that, but let's see how it goes.
From our vantage point against the tree, we have a great 180-degree view of a large section of the woods. The forest is thick, so we know any shots we take will be from fairly close. And that's a good thing, because long-range shooting with a sub-12 foot-pound rifle can be extremely risky, especially in .22 caliber with its really loopy trajectory. As expected, a squirrel eventually appears just a few meters away from the feeder, and Cai takes it down with a perfect shot.
Oh, yes.
Nice.
Get in. Did you get that on camera?
Yep, I did.
Sweet.
Nice. Get him in the head.
Yeah, in the head you can see some blood coming out of the ears, so that's a clean headshot, very pleased with that. Also a male, check that out. So that's 2 to Wales, 2 to South Africa.
With the light beginning to disappear, we decided it's time to put the guns away and bring out the pot. Cai is a cook by trade, and when he's not hunting, he runs a business called the Wild Food Catering Company.
Yeah,
This is his area of expertise, so from this point on, Cai takes complete control.
I'll tell you what, if you get some dried wood, I'll find something to hang and bind this. Probably got something in the vehicle. Cool. So, yeah, need lots of small dry bits of wood, like twigs and stuff like that, and then we'll concentrate on the bigger stuff once we build the fire up.
Right, fantastic.
Cool.
Alright, so Mr. Chef, what's the plan?
Well, the plan is today, Matt, is that we're going to try and eat some of the squirrels that we shot earlier on today. We're not going to go fancy, we're not going to go extravagant, we're literally just eating out al fresco in the woods. So we've got a little fire going now. We have to move it a bit more to the centre of the Dutch oven in a bit. But we've got some root vegetables and some potatoes and just really basic stuff. We're just going to go and enjoy the British evening today and eat some squirrel stew. So that's the plan. Once that gets going, then the preparation starts and you start skinning some squirrels.
Skinning a squirrel is not as easy as you might think. I've skinned and cleaned plenty of hares, dassies and other small animals before, and none of them are anywhere near as tough as these little guys. It's not the meat that's tough, it's the skin, and once the skin is off, things become much easier.
There's actually more meat on a squirrel than I thought, eh?
Yeah, it's quite surprising really, all along the back legs. There's not much on the arms, but we've got the saddle. I'm just separating the saddle here. Look.
There you go, that right there is a 22 caliber pellet. It's hardly deformed at all.
That's amazing.
Stuck in the middle of the squirrel. And I suppose that's the difference between a 12 foot-pound 22 caliber air rifle and a 30 foot-pound 22 caliber air rifle. The pellet doesn't always pass through the animal, but it did the job very well, so no complaints there.
Just gonna put the leeks, the onions and the garlic into the fat.
Last time I tried to cook something, I set my grandparents' house on fire and I got 3rd-degree burns, and one of my closest friends also got 3rd-degree burns, and we were in hospital for like a week. So I'm not the greatest chef out there.
Hopefully you'll learn a few bits today.
Definitely.
With all our ingredients prepared, we begin to chuck them in the pot, adding some cider, and all that's left to do is to wait.
Back in South Africa, we've got a traditional way of cooking called just cooking in the potjie, which potjie is Afrikaans for little pot. So when we have a stew in the potjie, we call it potjiekos, which means little pot food. That's the direct translation, and it's absolutely delicious. It's one of my favorite meals. My grandfather's potjie is like what I dream about. So squirrel potjie.
Delicious. Is this what you were making when you burnt down your grandparents' house?
No, I was frying chips when I burnt down my grandparents' house.
Because I'm not going to let you anywhere near this, you know that, don't you?
I might have burned down the forest.
Just as the light begins to disappear, the food is ready and we dish up. This is the moment that we have been waiting for.
I'm excited for this, I can tell you that.
We're all hungry, aren't we?
Yes.
Matt, that's yours.
Fantastic. Awesome. That is good. Ooh. Ooh, that is amazing. Ooh, let's get some of this meat. Ooh, look at that meat. Ooh. Kai described the squirrel as tasting like, what did you say, nutty rabbit?
Like a nutty rabbit, yeah. But it's true though.
Right, we've just finished our delicious meal. We had to actually shut the camera off for a while because The food just looked so tasty that the cameraman was like, you could see he was just itching to grab some food. So we told him, put the camera down, let's eat, and we'll carry on afterwards. And so we're done with our meal now. The plan is now to head out after some rabbits with the 22 rimfire, something different for you guys to see. If there are rabbits close up, we might use the air rifles, but I think just to get the job done, we're going to use the rimfire. If we do get quite a few rabbits on video, then I'll put that in another episode. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Cheers for now.